We are always talking about escaping your 9 to 5 and having a freedom lifestyle. And please type in the chat where you are watching from. I really want to know where you are, but I really want to know if you're also in a transition from a job to a business. If you're working on growing your business, starting your business. That's really what I want to know, because that's what I talk about. I talk about transitioning. I've been recording a lot of videos today, and really that roadmap of transitioning from a job to that freedom lifestyle, because taking the leap and just jumping without a parachute, please don't do that. Just don't do that. Like, I've never done that. We need money, and if you're in a situation where like, oh, I escaped my job and I quit and I took a leap and now I have no money and I desperately need income, that's not a nice way to start a business, is it? So let me just make myself a little bit higher. So yeah, I always, in somehow, some shape or form, in all my videos, talk about ways to transition and not take the leap and not just jump, right? So tell us where you're from. Tell us in the chat. Comment below if you're starting a business, if you want to start a business, if you have any idea how you want to start a business. So I definitely want that. But I want to do a little recap of last week, which I always do, and I want to continue on some hacks and some brain hacks on how to grow your confidence, and even more than confidence, because to be honest, these hacks that I'm giving you, it's so helpful to grow your confidence, grow your self-esteem, but also grow your business. Seriously, because you need certain hacks and certain mindset and certain actions to be able to grow your business. No matter what it is that you want to do, if you want to change in any shape or form, if you want to start a business or change a career, those are big steps in your life. And hi Caroline, so thank you so much for being here. Yes, you're in Canada, I love it. Et on parle français aussi, but I don't want to do that too much or we'll lose some viewers here. So last week, and I really want to make this a really short recap. I don't want to make it long because I want to continue. And I like I said, I don't want to just talk about confidence. The hacks I'm going to talk about today will definitely boost your confidence, but also definitely help you in the future in your business. So a little really quick recap of the 3 big hacks that we talked about last week was connecting mind and body. Not connecting mind and body, but knowing and being aware that mind and body are connected. So if you feel blue, if you feel down, if you feel depressed, I have some people coming to me like, oh, I'm not living my fulfilled life and I'm not happy and I don't feel like doing anything and I just want to crawl in bed and crawl away. Well, moving your body goes along with your mind. Your body and mind are connected. So, and it's also the food you put in, the hydration. So I always remember those words from Deepak Chopra, like junk food, junk brain, junk body. Healthy food, healthy brain, healthy body. Like everything is connected. Your brain, your body, your health, your mindset, your everything. So when I feel down or I lack energy, like yesterday I just took a whole day off, took a ferry, went to visit an island, and today I'm like filled with inspiration and energy. So sometimes you just have to do that. Just, shut down everything and do something completely different. But in any case, I do work out every day. I either go to the swimming pool or a gym or just walk in nature. And I want to know from you, like, do you sometimes just walk in nature? Just take a walk. If you don't know anymore what to do, if you don't see a solution anymore, if you don't see a way forward, then just go in nature. Just move your body, and moving your body will drive the worries away. That's a quote from Wayne Dyer. The second thing I talked about last week was taking action and repeating it. Like everything is repetition, but not just taking action, because there's a lot of fear of taking action. It's really stepping out of your comfort zone, because changing your life, if you want to start a business or change a relationship or change something big in your life, leaving the familiar corporate world or 9 to 5 job that you've been doing for several years and you're very familiar with, it's scary because you're coming into a zone that's not familiar and out of your comfort. So how do you make a big step? Well, by taking small steps. it seems logical, but it's really the way forward. So I gave you some ideas of what can you do to step out of your comfort zone in a small way. Can you step up in a meeting and ask a question? Can you talk to, maybe do a mini speech if you're afraid of public speaking, a mini speech to 2 people or 3 people, not a whole audience. Can you make that phone call that you're dreading? What can you do to really just step out of your comfort zone a little bit? And that will help you step, easier and easier out of your comfort zone to take a bigger step. And then I talked about being good to yourself. The trick of putting post-its everywhere that you're awesome and you're amazing, and we really have to feel good about ourselves, because so often we're like, maybe we've been told in our childhood, like, you're not good enough and you can't do this. And I was also raised like, very critical, and very judgmental, and for many years I felt like I'm not good enough. Why would I start my own business? Who's gonna listen to me? Why would I start YouTube? Things like that. So it's really about taking care of ourselves, not letting others decide for us, and really like telling yourself that you're awesome. And so I want to continue with 3 super important ones. And the first one is surround yourself with supportive people. Surround yourself with people who motivate you. And this is so big. And let me tell you how you can do that. So are you in a job right now? I know some of you, but I want to see some more chat. So please tell me, like, are you currently in a job? Are you already having your own business? Are you like, which phase are you in? I really want to know. Please tell me. So if you're still in a job, and that was me for a long time, almost 9 years I stayed in corporate, and I was surrounded by my colleagues and by my boss and by my family. And I wanted to change. I wanted to quit my job. I wanted a freedom lifestyle. I wanted to travel the world. But obviously, when I kept surrounding myself and talking to the people like my colleagues, like my family, who are liking a job, who like that monthly paycheck, who just want to do that the rest of their lives. They don't think about leaving. They don't think about quitting. They don't think about traveling the world. So when I kept talking to them, they didn't inspire me. They did not inspire you. So I want you to, at this moment, think about who are those people that you talk to on a daily basis. Are they the people that are living their comfort bubble, that are doing their 9-to-5 job? So if that's the people who you talk to every day, how will you be able to really get inspired and motivated and know what to do to change? Let me give you some examples. So I was still in corporate, but I wanted a freedom lifestyle. I also wanted to write books. I wanted to do TEDx talks, but I was shy. I'm an introvert. I had no clue where to start. Where do you start? Well, I started talking to people who were doing all the things that I wanted to do. I started to hang out on Facebook groups of digital nomads, laptop lifestyle, because that's what I wanted. I started conversations with them. Hey, what do you do? Like, how did you start? How, when, where? Like, tell me more. And I also got inspired, and I became motivated by watching those comments and seeing those stories and listening to those stories, and also watching YouTubes of those people and podcasts. And wow, it just started like opening my mind that it's possible. But the longer I was talking to my colleagues and my family, who's like, no, this is good, your paycheck, and it's a comfortable job, and it's good for you, and it's what you're supposed to do, I was not going to change. I wasn't going to change one thing. So I started surrounding myself. Then another example, I wanted to write books. Well, I started talking to authors. I had no clue where to start. Again, no need to talk to my colleagues and my family. They have no clue. Does that make sense? So what is it that you would like to do? And please keep it coming in the chat, because if there's any questions I can help you with, I would love to share more. So tell me what it is that you would like to do, and think for yourself, who are a few people that you could talk to that are doing what you want to do? Pick a few people and start conversations. So when I wanted to write books, I started to talk to authors. I was hanging out in Facebook groups with other authors. and I was reading their stories and their struggles, and what do I need to pay attention to? Do I need to self-publish? Do I need a publisher? What do I do? How do I even start? Oh, well, start this, and then the outline and the mind map, and I got a ton of ideas. I'm like, yeah, I can actually do that. But if I didn't talk to those people, I was still in my 9 to 5 thinking, who am I to write a book? Okay? Yeah. So another thing, my TEDx talk. Okay, I was shy, introvert, never ever did a big public speaking, let alone a TEDx. But I wanted it. It was like, it was on my list of my goals. And then in the end, I did 2 TEDx talks. And so I talked to other TEDx speakers. I researched on Google, like, how do you create a TEDx talk? You know, what are the qualifications? What are the requirements? I studied it. I watched so many others just looking at how they did the outline, how they did that. And I talked to the people like how, what, where, how to, boom. And the more conversations, I got 2 opportunities to do a TEDx talk. I mean, because if you remember the video I made about the proximity rule, people plus places equal opportunities. I repeat, people plus places equal opportunities. So talk to the people in the right places of what it is that you want to do, and that will create opportunities. You know, I talked to other authors. In the meantime, I've already co-authored like, I don't know, 6 books or something. It creates opportunities because people are like, oh yeah, Rachel, maybe you're interested. Can you join and co-author? TEDx talks. I was talking to all these people. Rachel, I know they're looking for someone. Can you want to do it? Boom. You know, coaching. Oh, Rachel, I know someone. Boom. You know, so many opportunities follow. If you have the people plus the places, opportunities will follow. So yeah, conversations is key. Surrounding yourself with supportive people. So that's really the first big hack that has helped me a ton. And I see it with my clients when I tell them like, look, why don't you hang out with this person or ask this to that person or, you know, pop a question there. It's always helpful. By the way, if you like my content, hit that like button right there and the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So let's see what you're asking me here. Still 9 to 5. Ooh, pivoting towards an online business. I want to know which online business and what are you doing to it? Do you have a deadline? Having a deadline is also really good because I knew I wanted to start my own business when I was still in my 9 to 5. But as long as I didn't really set a deadline, it's almost like it took forever. You know, you have to set a deadline because then it's like, okay, now I'm going to do everything I can to get there on that date. So I think having a deadline is really helpful. I hope you can do that. So have a startup cosmetic business. Yes. Need to grow an audience. That's the, again, you know, need to grow an audience. So, you know, look at what other people are doing in your field, in your business. Go and talk to other people in that cosmetic business. You know, Caroline, that's definitely the way forward. Have conversations with those people. Have conversations with people who are interested in this, in the brand or in cosmetics. You never share with coworkers. No, that's a good thing actually. I agree with that. I would not share, like, you know, when you go for a performance review with your boss, you're like doing everything for the company, right? And it's like, oh, are you pleased? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Oh, yes, of course I see myself in the company. And I was thinking like, duh, I don't want to be here another 5 years. But you don't share that with your boss and with your colleagues. So that makes perfect sense. But you do want to share it with people that are doing what you do want to do, right? You do want to share it with people who are already having an online business. To my Facebook, started YouTube. Oh, Dicas, yes. I don't remember what's your other account. So I would need to, you have to refresh my my memory there. So yeah, start conversations, surround online people, and yeah, set a deadline. So yeah, think about people that you could talk to, and we're just gonna dive a bit deeper, and I'll give you some more hacks. But yeah, keep it coming, guys, because I love these chats. They're really helpful to know for me, you know, where you're at, and also what kind of questions you have, you know, because I love sharing some tips and tricks and anything that can help you. So keep your questions coming. And think about those people, right? Think about those people who yeah, who you're inspired by. And thank you so much, Gras, for telling me that I'm the one inspiring you. And again, you can ask me anything. I love to answer. So that is the supportive people. And if you know the crab story, right? You know the people who want to keep you safe, like the crabs, like, oh, come back in the bucket of crabs. I've talked about this so often. And they want to keep you safe, especially family and friends. Like, no, stay in your job, stay in your paycheck, and then you're like, no, but I want a life freedom, I wanna have my own business. And like my parents, they still think I'm crazy. Like, why traveling full time? You need a home, Rachel. Like yesterday I had a call with them. They're like, you need a home base. I'm like, I'm doing this. But they always want to keep you safe. And I get that, I really do. But it's your life. You only have one life. If you want to live without regret, you got to continue and pursue your goal. Now, the next one is train your brain with positive thoughts. And I'm going to read a quote. That's why I'm holding my paper. You cannot have a positive life and a negative mind, from Joyce Meyer. So I'm going to repeat. You cannot have a positive life and a negative mind. So are you seeing the glass half empty or half full? Answer, please. Are you seeing the glass half empty or half full? I want to know. And I will tell you how, I always tell you the hack, I explain it, and then an action that you can do. And so the reason I say this is because, I used to be, because of my upbringing, that's very critical. It was very critical in my home. I did have a mindset of, I can't, and I'm not good enough, and, I want to travel, and I want to have my online business, but, I'm not sure I can do this. And I doubted myself over and over and over again. I don't know if you recognize that. So I really had to train my mind to believe in myself. I'm not going to say to be positive, because I always think there's this, like, you can't be positive all the time. Life is not rosy all the time. You can't be positive all the time. But you can constantly shift your thoughts, and that's the key. That's something that I learned. Whenever I'm worried, whenever I'm scared, whenever I'm not feeling good, whenever I'm doubting, self-doubting, whenever I'm judgmental about myself, it's because of the stories we put in our minds. Anxiety, worry, doubt, it's always coming from the story we put in our mind. So I became better, and this is something I want you to think about. Every time you feel fear, you feel anxious, you feel worried. Why? Because it's here. It comes from the story you tell yourself. And how many people in the beginning, also when I work with clients, say, yeah, Rachel, but I can't. I have a different story. I have a different situation. I have kids. I have a family. I can't. And all these excuses. But if you have all these excuses, or I'm too old, or I'm not technical, or this is not meant for me, all these excuses and limitations, you get to keep them. Because it's here. It's the stories you tell yourself. So the moment that I started telling myself, wait a minute, I don't have to stay in a job, and I can do this. And I was raised with, you have to work hard and get paid by the hour, and work and work harder and harder, and that's how you earn money. No, it's not true. It's all these stories. But let me keep it really simple. Let me give you an example. If you think about being alone in the house and there's a burglar in the house. Just imagine you're all alone, you're upstairs, and you hear some noise downstairs, and you really imagine there's a burglar in the house. Suddenly you feel like sweaty and this anxiety and this thing in your stomach, and you're scared. Why? Because of the thought that there's a burglar in your house. And it's the same, this is a very simplistic example, but it's the same for everything. The moment you think like, yeah, but I can't, I have to do this job. Says who? Says you, your story in your mind. Yeah, but I had failures in the past and I made mistakes. Yeah, so what? It's a story. So how about instead of I can't, say, but I can do this? It's so important. Yeah, but so many other people are doing, the same thing. Okay, so what? So do you. Like when I started writing a book, but there's so many millions of books. So what? I'll have my book too, and I'm selling it. So there are so many millions of videos on YouTube. So what? I'm doing it, but I could easily not do it, not have changed my life, still stay in a 9 to 5, because I would be thinking, oh, well, so many others are doing it, and who am I to do it? And I'm not good enough. You see how these stories are just constantly creating your future. Your thoughts create your reality. I'll repeat that. Your thoughts create your reality. So if you think you can't, then you can't. If you think you can, sorry about the dogs, then you can. And it's with everything. So I want to know if this is making sense, because every time right now that I have the slightest doubt or the slightest worry, I go back and think like, okay, what am I thinking? Wait, is this true? Like, is there any proof of this? No, usually not. And then I change it. Like, okay, can I get clients? A very common problem, can I make money online? The moment you doubt it, why not change it into, yeah, I'll make money online. Yeah, I'm going to start my life online. Yes, I can do this. That more of a yes mentality, it is so important. And I catch myself still, it's a training. Training your mind is a training for every day. It's like a muscle. You have to constantly train it. Why? I'll tell you why. Because as a human, we're easily thinking negative first. It's a mechanism that we have as humans to have this fear first. And it takes about 4 seconds to fall into a negative, fearful thought. And it takes 60 seconds, 60, to turn it again into something positive. So it's way easier, hence why so many people think negative and think excuses and I can't and it's not possible and it'll never happen and I'm too old and I'm this and I'm that. It's way easier because it takes 60 seconds to change all of these negative thoughts into something more like, but I can too and I will too and it is possible and there are opportunities for me. So as a human, it's completely human nature to think, fear and negative. It's a safety mechanism that we have. So I want you to start paying attention to that. Pay attention to your words because your thoughts create your reality. Really, really, really true. Oh, true. I'm glad you recognize that. And this takes effort. This shifting thoughts, it takes effort day after day after day. For me at this stage in my life, it's like an automatic pilot, but I still have to shift my thoughts every day. And we have about 60 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. And it's so easy for me too, like the slightest thing like, oh, but this person, maybe he doesn't like me. I don't know, I'm just inventing some examples here. Or, maybe this client, well, maybe this prospect won't be a client. Maybe they won't pay. Like, I have these thoughts too. Maybe this video is not going to be a success. Okay, well, but immediately, or when I worry, like, oh, maybe this will happen, or what if it doesn't work out? Like, what if it doesn't work out, right? Anything really. But every time I catch myself and I'm just shifting it back to, but it could happen, but it will happen, but I am gonna. And what helps me a lot is something that I talked about before as well, is writing affirmations. As soon as I'm like, I'm not sure, then I just write it exactly how I want. So I would write an affirmation like, I am doing great. I am earning this amount of money. I have amazing clients. And everything that I actually want, I write it down as an affirmation. And I hope you still do the affirmations because it's so powerful, because it's so easy to think about the things that we don't have. Like, yeah, but I don't have that, and I don't have that, and they have it, but I don't. And, the place of lack. But lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. Lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. It's not because you lack something now, maybe you don't have the money yet, you don't have the clients yet. So there's a lack of evidence, you don't see it. It doesn't mean that that is evidence of lack in your future. No, because you create your future, you will get those clients, you will get that money. Is that making sense? I am gonna read your comments. But there is an action to shift your thoughts, and the easiest way to do that is write gratitudes. The power of gratitudes is huge. The moment you feel negative and critical about yourself, not good enough, write down right away 5 gratitudes. Really, just write it out. Like for me, right now, I would say I'm so grateful that I'm here in Italy. I'm so grateful for the nice hot weather and sun. I have so many friends and family who are now in the rain and in the cold. I'm so grateful for this house that I have right now. I'm so grateful for you guys here live with me. I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful that I had an amazing swim outdoor in the pool today. And I'm just talking about gratefulness for today. I'm grateful to have a wonderful bed, and I slept so good last night. And so I'm just talking about my great gratitudes for today. And type some in the chat. I want to know, like, what are you grateful for? The moment you do that, gratefulness and having these gratitudes, it's so good for your health, mental health, physical health, your relationships, your achieving your goal, your success. I mean, daily gratitudes. It takes like what, 1 minute, and it just, for me, it was definitely a big life changer. So write me down some gratitudes here. And then I'm going to move to a big third hack. Let me read some comments here. Grown audience, yeah. So, Caroline, you could say some affirmations like, I am so happy and grateful that I have an amazing audience and that I'm promoting my brand and that I'm selling like crazy. I'm so grateful. Those are amazing affirmations. Let's see. Comfortable. Yeah. You've started a conversation. That's amazing. And yep, surrounded online. Online, you can have amazing conversations. And you can have a call, you can chat. There's multiple ways to have conversations. You've set the deadline to quit your job. That's super, Joan. And yes, you share Ronaldo. Yes, I remember. Thank you. And need to get crypto, rich to get freedom. Yeah, crypto or multiple streams. Crypto is something I don't know a lot about, but let me just grab my water. I think nowadays multiple streams of income is really the way forward. That's what I do. But if that's your goal, then go for it. What would stop you? It's a beautiful example because there's so many people out there talking about cryptocurrency. Why not you? Why not you? This is so yeah, I'm not sure in what stage you are, but I'm sure you're talking to people who are doing that as well. And there's absolutely, again, a kind of affirmation like, I'm doing amazing in my cryptocurrency. My biggest income is coming from cryptocurrency. That's an amazing affirmations as well. Now, the last point and hack I want to make is, have you ever compared yourself with others? Like, they have it and I don't. Comparison, the comparison trap. It's something, it was a topic of one of my TEDx talks. So I did a lot of research on comparison. And comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. Where's comparison coming from? I'll tell you where it's coming from. I'll tell you it's completely normal. You're normal if you're doing that. And I'll tell you what to do about it. So it's coming from many things, but it's completely human because think about when you're born. What do you do as a baby? You copy as an infant. You copy your parents. You copy your siblings, right? So it's human nature to copy others, to compare with others in a sense. Like that's what you do as an infant. Why are you liking the same foods or pretty much the same foods as your parents and your siblings? Because that's how you were taught to do it. So, and then comes school, when you're a kid in school and you get your report back, it's like, oh, I got a 9. How much do you have? Or I got an A or a B, and how much do you have? And how much do you have? And you continuously compare. So it starts from a really early age, you know, or even when you have siblings and your parents would be like, oh, you know, you're not as good as your brother, or your brother is better at this than you, or you're not good in sports and your brother is, or your sister is, you know, it just, we get these comparisons so often in our lives that it's hard not to compare. And then comes now social media. And social media is just dreadful. Like, you know, how many people are scrolling down social media, and how can you not compare when you're scrolling down social media and just seeing like, ooh, beautiful relationships and great holidays, and oh wow, they're so successful in business. And I mean, you can't not compare, right? It's so easy. And so we fall into that comparison trap, and that's the danger. And now it comes like, it's okay to look at all these, but if you compare and you're like, they're so successful and I'm not, and then you feel bad about yourself, that's the trap to avoid. That's what, I wish you know, and especially now younger kids, you know, they look at all these bodies and it's like, you know, I want that too and I don't have it, and then they feel really bad. So it's so easy to compare, and it's so easy to say or think that the grass is greener on the other side. You recognize that, like, oh, but yeah, but you know, they're better and they have it, and like the grass is always greener on the other side, right? It's like, oh, but if I, you know, and years ago I was like, but if I live in that country, I'll be happier. You know, makes no sense. The grass is not greener on the other side. I've lived in many countries around the world. The grass is not greener on the side. It all depends on the water that you give your grass. It depends on the seeds and the soil, and how well you treat your grass. And so what's important is that you realize, first of all, that you are comparing. Being aware of it is step number one. So if you want to get rid of comparing, and I'll tell you more about what you can do, if you want to get rid of comparing yourself because it makes you feel bad, then first of all, be aware that you're doing it. Catch yourself. Like, you know, when you're scrolling, like, oh, they're better, or like, again, like, analyze yourself. Like, why am I feeling bad? Oh, because they're better? Because I think they're better? Let me tell you something. On social media, people show their best and they hide their mess. People show their best and they hide their mess. It's the way it is. I am putting a lot of videos and pictures on social media. I'm not gonna put a picture of me looking awful. I want to show pictures that I'm, you know, happy and living the life that I want, and most of the time I am. But I'm just saying that I'll make sure to have a good lighting and all of that. You know, it's just, people show their best and hide their mess. That's just the way it is. So remember that to begin with. Catch yourself when you're comparing, and then I want you to hold up a mirror. Like, hold up a mirror and look at yourself. Okay, what am I good at? What are my unique skills? And take a look at all the things that you are good at. And I had to learn doing that, because I was also, you know, comparing myself, and they're better and they have this and they have that. But then you're not looking at yourself, and you're only comparing yourself to others. It's like, if you really think about it, how much sense is it making to compare yourself to somebody else? It's like comparing apples and oranges, because you are not that person. Even if you would have an identical twin, you cannot be the same. You have different experiences, a different life. You know, you constantly compare apples and oranges if you compare yourself to somebody else. You, my dear viewer and watcher and friend, you are unique. So tell me in the chat, tell me one thing, one characteristic that you are good at. You know, maybe you're a good cook, maybe you're a good talker, a good communicator, maybe you like, you know, you're a good video editor, maybe you're a good sister, maybe you're a good mom, maybe you're a good dad, maybe, you know, it could be, maybe you're an artist and you love painting, maybe you're good in, I don't know, just in writing and blogging and drawing and painting. Write down one thing that you're good at. I want you to realize that you are unique and that you have unique gifts. and start from there. Okay, that's the step. I don't know which step I'm at. So stop comparing, catch yourself that you're comparing. Then number 2, look at yourself and then write down what you're good at. What are your unique gifts? But there's a third thing, and that is, it's okay to look at other people to be inspired. And that's the key that you have to remember. Instead of like, ah, they have it all and I don't, think about, wow, they can do this, so can I. Hi Sharifa, thank you for coming. I'm on my last point here. Stop comparing yourself. So be inspired by other people. So instead of comparing yourself and feeling bad about it, like letting it be the thief of joy, letting it rob your joy. No, don't do that. And think, wait, they can do that, whatever it is. Maybe they're successful in cryptocurrency, they're successful on YouTube, they're successful in earning money online. If they can do it, so can you, so can I. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. And I want you to be inspired by other people. And not feel bad about it, not feel down. Okay? Does that make sense? So that's how I started, seeing it. Like instead of like, oh, they have this and that, and then you come from a place of lack, like, but I don't, and I don't have this, and I don't have that. No, be inspired and think, if they can do it, so can I. All right? So now I'm gonna check the comments. I'm gonna check the comments, and that was my last point, but I will answer some questions. Okay, great affirmations. Yes. That's where I was. Comparison takes over before you know it. Yes. Still working on your 6-pack abs. Yeah. So what do we do with these 6-packs, right? We look at others who are having a 6-pack abs, watch their videos, and be inspired. Like if they can have a 6-pack, hey, so can I, right? Doesn't matter what age we are. So I'm working on that too, and they're quite visible already. So yeah, why not? Shut down. So many hide the mess. Yes. We hide the mistakes and we show the best, and then that's how you think like, oh, the grass is greener there, and they have it, and they're this and they're that. And you know what? Sometimes you see these big successes, and I'm going to be really honest here, and I've interviewed so many people, and sometimes on their social, you really see like, wow, they're so successful and they have it all. And then I get to know this person and I interview them or I talk to them, and I really get to know them, and the truth, they're not so successful at all. And some of them are even struggling. And just keeping their heads above water, but they show on social, ooh, look, I've been here and I'm there and I'm not, I feel that's a little bit, yeah. I wouldn't do that. Like if I'm traveling the world and I put pictures and I make stories and videos, I'm really honest about what I say and do, and I'm really doing it. I'm walking the talk, let's say. But there are a lot of people like showing off success and not really having it. And that's a trap that then other people who feel a bit weaker are like, wow, they have it and I don't, and they feel bad. But the truth behind what you see is sometimes very, very different. Yeah, if they can do it, so can I. Yes. Yeah, and hey, guys, we all make mistakes and we all have failures and we all learn from it and we all grow from it. And it's good actually to make mistakes. I admit my mistakes. I struggled in the beginning. I had a completely other niche and I thought, oh, I'm going to help expats living abroad. And I'm like, no, I want to help people who want to escape their 9-to-5 and have a roadmap and clarity and talk about the mindset. And that's me, and it just flows so much easier. But I did struggle in the beginning, because I was in the wrong niche. I had failed relationships as well. I don't lie about it. I talk about it, and I learn from that as well. We learn and we grow all the time, and it's so important to make mistakes, and to also talk about it and be honest about it and learn and grow from it. That's really all it is. Life is just one big lesson, and we just grow all the time. So making mistakes is part of that. And I encourage people to make mistakes sometimes. Like, just do something, mess up on purpose. I did a video, it's not out yet, but about perfectionism. And one of the things is like, mess up on purpose. Seriously, like, for once, don't make up your bed and don't clean and just mess something up, you know, and just do it on purpose. Because yeah, life is not perfect, and there's no such thing as perfection. It's an illusion. So are there any other questions? Because I am about to round up. I want to know if there are any questions, any comments. Thank you all for being here. Social media can be so distractive. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I honestly go on social media to do my posts, to, you know, comment on and help other people and reply to messages and things like that. And when I do scroll, I'm pretty much not really scrolling. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm more on YouTube actually too. I'm more scrolling on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm so inspired by these YouTubers that are just, you know, big and making it. I'm like, wow, you know, they did it, and some of them are honest in their struggles, and it took a long time. And I'm like, I'm going to continue, and I'm going to keep helping people and keep inspiring people and keep motivating people. And because it is too sad to stay in your 9 to 5, and it's so important to have a plan. And I'm launching a group program soon as well. So yeah, if you want to hop on a call with me, discuss a plan, discuss your roadmap, discuss your steps. Some of you have already had conversations with, and I'm really happy to help and continue to, yeah, see your growth and really take the time to transition. You know, don't take the leap of faith, don't jump without a parachute, and really have a clear goal and then move towards it. And I'm glad that I talked about the deadline. Have a deadline. I'm glad I'm glad you have a deadline, because having a deadline is super important. I had one client, and she came to me, and this is another example, and she came to me first, and she's like, yeah, maybe in 10 years from now I can quit my job. I'm like, are you kidding me? 10 years? 10 years? I said, what about next year? She's like, but that is impossible. And then I went like, okay, here's the hack I just talked about earlier, you know, shift your thoughts. You know, she was literally in her mind like, okay, 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. I'm like, what about next year? And I shifted her thoughts, and she started believing in maybe next year, maybe next year. And so we created a plan, a roadmap, and doing more of what she loved and doing more of her side hustle. And after 2 months already, she was making money from her side hustle. And so after 4 months, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually able to quit next year. I'm actually able to do this full time, because I shifted her thoughts. I shifted her focus. She was doing her job in a total different mindset, because when you're still doing a job and you're like, oh, it's draining me and I don't like it, and it's just, it just really puts a lot of weight on your shoulders. But when you know you have a goal, you have a deadline, and you know that in the evenings and the weekends you're working towards your dream, when you then go to your 9 to 5, it's so much more fun and light. And that's how I did my last year in corporate. I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm doing the minimum just not to get fired, and I didn't care anymore about putting up a smiley face and doing the best performance and you know, kissing my boss's ass. No, because I knew I was gonna go. So it was just so much lighter and so much fun. And that's, you know, this client too, she's like, and another one, she's actually gonna resign in 2 months from now. And in the beginning, the first time I talked to her 4 months ago, she was like, oh, Rachel, my job is draining me, and this and this and this and this. And now we're like, we have another goal. She's already, you know, earning money from her side hustle too. And so she's now like still doing her job, and she's like, I'm doing the minimal hours, Rachel. I don't care anymore. They're gonna have to look for a replacement. I'm out of there. And it's just so much lighter, you know, it's just so much lighter. So if you have a deadline and a plan, it's so much more fun to go to your 9 to 5, because then you're just going to your 9 to 5 for the money, just to get that paycheck. I mean, that's just really nice. Let's see, final things. Should we make to leave 9 to 5 and launch? Should we make to leave 9 to 5 and launching online? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Can you clarify that? Same idea and thoughts that I have on my, yes, thanks. It's always good to, oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed, and keep coming, you know, the questions or the doubts or anything at all, you know, please, or message me or comment later, you know, below the video. I just don't know what you mean. Like deadlines, should we make to leave 9 to 5? You should have a deadline, yes. And have a deadline to launch online, yes. I think that's what you mean, Joan. Otherwise, just type it now and then I can or you know, we can have a chat afterwards or something. But yeah, definitely have a deadline to leave. Definitely have a deadline to launch. But I'm also thinking, why do it at the same time? Like, I was launching my online business while I was still in my 9 to 5. You know, why not? Why make it a big launch? You know, like, I was just having clients while I was doing my corporate. I never did like a big launch of my online business. I started my business while I was in my 9 to 5. I started growing clients, and then I was able to quit my 9 to 5 when I was making money. So, you know, so I hope this is helpful. I mean, you don't really have to, okay, quit one day and the next day do a big launch. Because for me, the word launching an online business, for me, what matters is having money. What matters is having clients that pay you, you know? So if you can get those, and you should get those while you're still in your 9 to 5. And also, why not just, you know, that's what I did. I went from full-time to working 4 days a week, and then 3 days, or no, part-time. And that's how I did it. I transitioned. So over the course of a few months, I kind of gradually worked less and less and less. Deadlines for both, you mean, Joan? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, just exactly what I said. A deadline to quit, yes. And about the launch of your online business, you can have a date to launch it if you want to. But again, like I said, I never really did a big launch because I just started having clients and I just grew my business, and I'm still growing my business. So I hope that makes sense, that you don't have to, you know, officially, because what does it really mean? Does it mean like, oh, now my website is online and then what? For me, that's not important. For me, what's important is having clients that pay you. It's having revenue, it's having money, and there's no date on that, right? there's no deadline, there's no so, well, for Lydia, hi, glad you came, but I'm on the end. There's no more questions, and oh, glad you got it, Joan. Okay, cool. So again, keep it coming, you know, still comment below. I hope you enjoyed today, and not sure about next week. I should be back, but I'll let you know. Joan, how did you find me? I'm curious. I know Ronald is following me, so that's cool. I'm just curious, Joan, how you found me. And type in the chat or let me know afterwards, and I'd be happy to talk some more to you. And thank you for being here. You could start even without paying customers, says Sharifa. Well, yeah, just start. Yeah, at the end of the day, just start. I completely, like, you have to start. Like, for me, like, of course, my YouTube videos in the beginning, I was making videos and I didn't bring any money, right? So yeah, you have to get your name out there and become visible and credible, and that's what I did. Of course, I do understand though that, and some of my clients are in this way, they don't want to do too much on social because they're afraid that their boss might see it, right? So if you're still 9 to 5, you have to be sometimes careful. So yeah, I get it that you don't always want to be too visible. So here's a dog who needs a walk. Here's a dog who wants to go for a walk. So I think it's time, and I talked enough, and we want to go outside. And so I think that's making sense, right? So yeah, trying to do that now, this weekend. Yeah, start. I encourage you to start, get clients, get out there, and just, if you can post, then start posting, start getting visible, start letting people know who you are. As a person, it doesn't have to be business all the time. People think always like we have to post about the business. What about posting about you? Like me, sometimes I post about the business, but most of the time I'm posting about where I'm at, where I'm traveling, what I'm doing, you know. People have to get to like you, know you, trust you, and yeah, it takes some time. Maybe that's a good topic for another video. But I want to keep it to this. So yeah, he's my favorite dog. He's cute. He can be difficult sometimes, but he's cute. So guys, thank you again. Yeah, keep it coming. Keep commenting. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next week, next time on my live. But also watch my other videos. I don't know if you watched the I'm too busy video that I did this week. I'm too busy. The new answer to how are you? So have a look at my channel, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.